Diabetes is one of the most common chronic diseases among children in the United States. When it strikes during childhood, it usually is found to be type 1 diabetes, which destroys the body's ability to produce the insulin needed to regulate blood sugar. People with type 1 diabetes must have daily insulin injections to survive. We spoke with Dr. Ed Damiano, who is an associate professor of medical engineering at Boston University. He developed a device that he hopes will help his son, David, and others more easily manage living with type 1 diabetes. David was diagnosed when he was a baby. I spoke to both of them earlier. Take a look. Ed and David, welcome to Arise America. Thank you so much for taking some time to be here. I really do appreciate it. This research and this discovery of yours, this development of yours, Ed, sounds like it's so exciting. You've called it the Bionic Pancreas. Explain what this system is and what you hope ultimately it will do.
Thanks, Debbie, for having us. Yeah, the Bionic Pancreas is a device that we've developed in my lab over the past 10 years or so that automatically controls blood sugar levels in people with type 1 diabetes. So basically, it's a device that you wear outside of your body. The current version of this device runs on an iPhone. So this just shows you what the system looks like. It has 3 pieces right now. It's got a iPhone with a glucose monitor on the back. And then it's got a couple of insulin pumps. One actually we fill with insulin, and another one we repurpose to fill with something called glucagon, where insulin lowers your blood sugar, glucagon raises it. And this system, which is a little cumbersome in its current incarnation, is a device which you wear on your belt, you wear in your pocket, and it automatically makes all the decisions for you to manage your blood sugar. Day in and day out, 288 decisions a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So basically it takes care of people with type 1 diabetes without them having the constant wear and tear of thinking about their blood sugars every single day.
It really could be not only life-affirming, but liberating for so many millions of people who live with type 1 diabetes. And one of those people is right next to you, your son, David. I know that he's an inspiration for developing this. Can you just tell me a little bit about the anxiety of making sure that your son's blood levels were normal and that you were on the wall, if you will, at all times to make sure that he was okay, that led to your research into this device?
Yeah, I can. So David was diagnosed by my wife at a very young age. He was actually only 11 months old at the time. So this tiny little person, he weighed 20 pounds. He had half a liter of blood. I mean, he's just such a little guy. And even the small amounts of sugar in his diet would change his blood sugar dramatically. So it was very challenging to manage blood sugars at that age, and we had complete responsibility for it. It wasn't a situation where an older person would take over this right away. He was really dependent upon us in every manner to check his blood sugars frequently, up to about 15 times a day initially, as we got our feet wet. And then when we got better at it, we could check him more like 10 or 12 times a day. He didn't seem to be disturbed by it at all as an infant and as a toddler, because it just became his routine. Sort of day in and day out experience. But our biggest concern was always the nighttime. We're very worried about David's blood sugars going low at night, and we still are today. It's a concern of everybody with type 1 diabetes. So we were up checking blood sugars throughout the night, and we have been for the past 14 years. And the great concern we have, of course, is him going off to college, where he won't have a parent next door to look after him when he sleeps. So the goal for me has always been to build this device and get it out there for David by the time he goes to college, which is 39 months away, but also, of course, to help everyone else out there with type 1 diabetes.
That's quite a goal, and I know that would give you a lot of peace of mind. David, let me bring you into this conversation. The idea of having this bionic pancreas that, A, would be able to regulate your blood sugar all by itself. You wouldn't have to be thinking about your blood sugar all day, but also that your dad developed this. What does the idea of that, how does that make you feel?
It's absolutely incredible. I think that it's really a wonderful thing to know that your dad would go to such incredible heights to do something for you. And it feels wonderful that he did it for me, but it's also for all the people who were diagnosed with type 1, and that makes me all the prouder about it.
David, can you give me a little bit an idea of just the realities of your lifestyle, because you do have to keep such close tabs on your blood sugar? What's a daily routine like for you now?
Now I have a CGM on me, which tells me what my blood sugar is. It has my blood sugar every 5 minutes. But if I don't have that on, I'd have to check my blood sugar at least 10 times a day just to be on, just to know what my blood sugar is and what I have to do. Some people do less, but if you want to get really good control, you have to check your blood sugar 10 times a day. It really can hurt your fingers after a while. And you have to insert insulin pumps, and it's really tiresome for some people. I've been able to keep on track of it. My dad and I have. I've had a lot of support with me. So for me, it might be a little bit easier, but living with diabetes is definitely challenging.
So, Ed, what are the hurdles? I know you set for yourself this goal of having this on the market, approved by the FDA by the time your son goes to college. What's the next step for you?
So there are several steps that we have on our radar right now for our current clinical trial that we began actually a week ago today. Uses the same device I just showed in 40 adults with type 1 diabetes at 4 major centers across the country: Massachusetts General Hospital, University of Massachusetts Medical Center, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Stanford. That study began, as I said, a week ago at MGH, at Massachusetts General Hospital. 10 subjects at each site will wear the device for 11 days and then show us how they take care of their blood sugars on their own for 11 days. And that study will be done in May of next year. We also have one more pediatric study. We did a summer camp study that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine last week, and that was in adolescents at a summer camp setting with type 1 kids 12 to 20 years old. We're going to repeat that study in pre-adolescents, children 6 to 11, in the same venue, same summer camp setting in central Massachusetts this July and August. So this device that I showed you will reach the end of its useful life in about 12 months from now. And we're in the process now in my lab working with our our industrial collaborators to build the final platform, which would be a single device that you wear, fully integrated bionic pancreas that you would wear in your pocket. And that would control both, it would dose both insulin and glucagon. All the glucose monitor will be built into the system, and all our mathematical algorithms that we use to make those therapeutic decisions every 5 minutes will also be built into the system. So all that we want to have done in the next 15 to 18 months so that we can begin our final, what's called pivotal trial, which will take place in the calendar year 2016. So the goal is to have all the clinical work done by the end of 2016 and submit the device for final approval to the FDA in early 2017.
This really could be revolutionary for a lot of people who are living with type 1 diabetes. I'm all out of time, but David, I want to give you the last word. How confident are you that your dad can meet this goal and make this deadline to get you off to college safely?
I am as confident as a person can be. Mm-hmm. He has worked so hard on this. He's been working on this for over a decade, and the dedication that he shows is really inspiring, actually. I don't doubt that he can do it. It's definitely very challenging, but if anyone could do it, my dad could.
What a remarkable young man you are. I can see why he's so proud of you and working so hard for you. Thank you both, Ed Damiano, David Damiano. I wish you the very best. Thanks for taking some time with us. Such an amazing little boy and great, great research. This is Arise America.